Welcome to another episode of the ZymCast, episode 35 or 4 or something.
35.
Oh!
Trust your instincts.
Right.
The last notes I have is for 33, but that's why.
Yeah,
The last couple were weird.
Everything's weird.
Everything is awesome.
Life is a lie.
No, 42.
That's the answer.
Ah.
What's the question?
The cake
Hey, I'm Kyle.
is a lie. I'm Chase.
I'm Cheyenne. Hi. We just had like a mini therapy session.
Yeah, we all shared our feelings.
I
You were
didn't.
not, well, the men shared their
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah, you don't have feelings, Cheyenne.
You don't
I
have the
don't.
right. Pay us $20 on Patreon to get our exclusive therapy session. Where we name drop a lot of people and talk shit about our lives.
Yeah.
No,
Just kidding. We don't have a Patreon.
No, nor should we.
Nope.
OnlyFans? If you want to see my nudes.
Jesus.
Yeah. You can't.
No.
Okay, Pro Jared.
Oh, right. Oh, no.
All right. So, what you been up to this week, Chase?
I don't know.
Cool. So I have 3 different things to talk about. I'm going to talk about them in order of how long I can talk about them, not in order of how long they actually took.
Okay.
Though it's kind of there's correlation. But okay. So I played dose new video games this week
Cool.
because I'm trying to catch up on games I wanted to play but had missed.
I haven't played a video game in a while. TBH, besides on the channel.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say
no.
we played last week,
Don't
but
question me.
so I got 2 PC games that I played.
Ooh.
One of which is a sequel to a game that I never played, but I
Okay.
did watch a 2.5 hour long YouTube video talking about.
Okay.
Talking about not playing through?
So you basically.
Correct.
So you know
Talking
everything.
about the
Yeah.
themes and story of a game I never played. I'm like, why am I watching this? But I'm fascinated, and I've never seen a 2.5 hour long video about a person talking about a game they love and end with "Don't play it."
Is that what?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
But there was a reason. He's like, you want to know why you shouldn't play it? Because the sequel's out, and the sequel is just a way better remake of the original game.
Oh, okay.
So what I played was Pathologic 2. Now available free on Game Pass for PC.
I think I saw that on Game Pass.
Dude, what a fucking weird game. So Pathologic 2, just like Pathologic 1, is a story of a small town somewhere at some time.
So
I'm not wrong. Somewhere at some time that is dealing with a terrible, terrible plague. And you don't know that right from the start, but it's pretty clear. There is a plague that is taking over like this town and killing people, and the town is being driven into madness in a desperation to stay alive.
Oh.
And in the original game, you selected one of 3 characters, basically doctors, to try and like stop the plague and heal the town. In this game, they streamlined it. It's just one of the 3 dudes. Well, and dudette. But it's just one of the 3 guys is like the main character of like the main story of this. And yeah, so like you come back to town. Your dad was the town physician. You had a falling out with him. You come back to town just in time to find that your father has been murdered. And everyone thinks you did it. And so you are now walking this dangerous tightrope of working with like the criminal underbelly of the city and the people that won't just try and kill you on sight because people have just turned into a total mob mentality. And now that the doctor is dead and the fucking town is being infested by a plague, no one likes you very much. And yeah, and so like you're working with like the criminal underbelly while trying to cure this plague with like the worst resources on God's green earth as you desperately try and stay alive. And that is a very difficult task. I swear to God, this game is evil.
Okay.
Oh my God. And I was dumb. To be fair, this is also my fault. I was dumb. Because it seems like the game has, I mean, it didn't used to, but there are now 3 difficulties to choose from. But I like to believe developers. And so there's like medium, which is the easy mode.
Okay.
There's hard, and then there's literally, as they describe it, the intended way to play the game, very hard. And I'm like, okay. And I picked very hard.
Yeah.
Dude,
Was it very hard?
yes. So like,
Who would have thought?
at the start of the game, like, first of all, you're like knifed on your way into town, so you're like bleeding as you start the game, basically. Like, you're just attacked by people who you have to kill in self-defense. It happens before the game even starts. Well, really, it's basically a cutscene. And yeah, and so like you're injured, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're in a town where no one likes you, your dad is dead. Welcome to Pathologic 2. And so like I had like a piece of toast and I ate that and it made me more thirsty.
Oh yeah.
I found like a thing with water in it. I'm like, okay, my thirst is back up. And I'm just like wandering around. I had some shit I stole off the people I murdered in self-defense.
As you do.
I sold that at a shop to buy more food. I like went through the trash to find empty bottles that I could store water in while I'm wandering around town.
Did you say water?
Water. And I'm just like trying to meet up with like all my old friends and stuff. And like I'm able to buy food from the town. And I'm like, okay, look, this is rough, but I can handle this.
Mm-hmm.
The second day starts. The plague is officially, it's like it's gotten out that the plague is happening. All the trains into town that transport a lot of food haven't shown up in a while.
Uh-oh.
Prices skyrocket.
Uh-oh.
It now, like, it cost like 100 coins to buy like a loaf of bread. Now it costs 1,000. I can't afford to eat. I was like, oh my God. Luckily, that's very similar to the first game, so I had an idea that was coming, so I stockpiled food. It went bad.
As food does.
Dude, like, I am, this game is, this game is, like, so oppressive. And
impressive?
Oppressive.
I know what you mean.
And weird as fuck. Because weird is important. This game is super fucking weird.
It looks fucking weird.
So, like, it's super self-aware. Like, it's... The beginning of the game, technically, is you are at, like, a theater. And, like, you talk to this guy, and he's like, look, you totally failed. And your character's like, 12 days was not enough time to fix this.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's what you had, and you knew that going in. And so, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, no one, you failed to cure the disease, and everyone will die, and this town is destroyed because of you.
Oh.
And so, you, like, go to talk to the people who are in charge or who are making the decision about what to do about the town, whether to just, like, blow it off the planet to make sure the plague doesn't get off. And you're trying to convince them, like, just give me more time. They're like, no. And you're just, like, brought back to this guy who's like, I'm sorry, man. You fucked up. He's like, if I just had another shot, like, you really think you could do it on a second time? And, like, one of your dialogue options is like, second time, it's only the first time. I haven't done anything yet. I just started. I'm like, oh, God, game. Yeah, and then basically, yeah, it jumps, like, back in time for where you get, like, another shot to try and save the day.
Oh.
And so I think that this game is both a remake and an actual sequel to the first game, like, off the bad ending. Where, like, your character has some knowledge of the things that happened before to try and, like, fix it and make it better again.
Oh.
So I'm in the second day, and I've died many times, and I'm somehow enjoying it, but it's very tough. Yeah. So that's Pathologic 2. The other game I'm playing on the computer right now, finally got around to this. After it won a fucking 1,000 awards at, like, various things.
The Witcher 3.
Disco Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a weird-ass game.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Dude,
I
have played about 25 minutes of it.
Okay.
So very little.
It got RPG of the Year, right?
It got awards everywhere, but yeah, it did. And I'm like, okay, I got to give this game a shot. What a fucking game. And again, I've only played 25 minutes.
Right.
And I need to start over. We'll get into this in a second. So, it takes place in, like, this weird society, like, futuristic society. Mm-hmm. And you play as a police detective who has amnesia. And you're like, oh, okay. But I, like, describing this game and its initial impression that it gives you is just so fucking odd. in the best of ways. So you have like your limbic system and your reptilian brain like at odds, like trying to tell you like, because like you clearly have given yourself amnesia. Like you just beat yourself over the head and knocked yourself unconscious after destroying the hotel room you were renting. And that's where the game starts. Like your brain and these voices in your head are literally like, just why are you fighting it? Just lie in the nothingness that is your heap of existence and just embrace the void. And you're like, what? It's like, it's so much easier if you don't get up and you just let this happen. And there are options that are like, you're right. I'm like, I'm not taking that. Am I immediately going to get a bad ending? But yeah, it's like, you don't need to think about all the terrible things about what was that ex-wife. And you're like, ex what? What's going on? And yeah, you wake up and you're like in your underwear. The room around you is completely trashed. You're just like, what the fuck is going on? You go around the room, gather up all your clothes. If you're like, you walk up to the mirror and it's like fogged over. And you're like, oh, I wipe off the mirror. And the brain's like, you do not want to see what you look like right now. And you're like, what? It's like, you look like a terrible thing. And you're like, maybe. And like one of the options I picked was like, I want to feel my face to make sure everything's okay. And the game's like, it is not okay. You're like, is my nose all right? It's like, and the game's like, it's a huge bulbous thing coming out of your face. Does that sound okay? And I'm like, wait, is that just a nose? And it's like, is my tongue all right? It's like, no, what the fuck is that thing? Like, it's just darting out of your mouth like a little. I'm like, what is this game? And eventually I was like, I have to succeed on a skill check to wipe the mirror and look at myself.
Okay.
And yeah. And so I look at myself and it just turns into like, it's like me just like grinning. It's like,
That's creepy.
Which is like a slightly fucked up face. He was like, what the fuck is that on your face? It's like, what? Why? Stop it. Stop wearing that. It's like, I can't. It's like, what does that look like to you? And you have a bunch of options like, oh, it looks like I'm happy. It's like, it looks like I'm embracing the terribleness of my life. It's like, and her like one of the options, it just won't go away no matter what I try and do. I was like, dude, I'm loving the writing in this game. But so the thing is, there are 4 main stats where it's like your intelligence, your like, I can't remember exactly what they are, but it's like basically it's like intelligence, wisdom, dex, and strength are like your 4 basic stats. And off of those, there's like 5 or 6 skills per each.
Yep.
And all of those are based off different facets of like interacting with the world around you and understanding things. You know, typical RPG sort of build. To get good stats in one thing, you have to have terrible stats in another. And so I'm like, I know this game doesn't have a lot of fighting. So I'm going to only put like 1 point in my physical stats. Like 2 points in my I did 1 point in my physical stats, like 3 points in my dexterity, and like all my other points went into like intelligence and wisdom. But like really wisdom is more like charisma sort of too.
Okay.
Where it's more just about like understanding people, being able to interact. And these different skills are all just different facets of like different things where it's like, okay, this skill helps me understand like police procedures and stuff like that. This skill helps me understand why people are doing things that they're doing. Like the skill is physically for like breaking down doors. This is for like dodging out of the way of danger and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it all just breaks down and you basically select. And for that stat, all of those skills start at that level. So like if you put 3 points in a stat, all of those skills are at 3.
Yeah.
And they're just our static boost at that point. Then you pick one skill that you specialize in. And so, yeah, my dude's incredibly weak. And I realized immediately, I think that was a horrible mistake because I believe your strength stat is also your max HP. So I had 1 HP.
Oh, no.
As we will see, that was a bad call. I didn't realize this, I think, until too late. And so, yeah, I gather up all my clothes. I realized I chucked one of my shoes out the window. So I go out into the balcony to grab it.
Yeah.
And then there's like this lady who's like smoking a cigarette outside, in this open area outside the hotel room and stuff. And I talk to her And I was like, dude, the writing in this game is so fucking good. Just talking to this character was just amazing. It's just a random one-off character. As your character is just like navigating this weird social situation of being like, and she's like, hey, officer. He's like, am I a military officer? She's like, no. Like, am I a... like, it just like breaks down like these terrible options. Your character's like, are you dumb? It's like, you're a police officer? Are you okay? He's like... And you have options like, I have no idea what happened last night. Or, of course I'm a police officer, madam. Why would you even doubt that? She's like, I'm not. Should I? Have you been lying to us the last couple of days you've been at this hotel? He's like, look, I don't know what happened in your room last night. And this is when you kind of get the breakdown. Like you were just like, we're listening to some music. And then you just started screaming the lyrics. And then you just started screaming in general and like yelling about how it's not my fault. And then you just trashed your room. And she's like, I wasn't going in there.
The fuck?
And I'm like, okay. Have this conversation with her. And I go downstairs and there's like the cafeteria manager who's just a dick. And then and there's like some woman in a wheelchair who's just like chilling there. And I couldn't really talk to her. Talk to this one guy in a blazer he's like another detective. He's like, so what do you know about the body so far? And I'm like, what? He's like, so where's the body at? And you're like, no, he's like, have you moved the body yet? And I'm like, no. He's like, so that body has been in the tree for 7 days? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, have you filed all the paperwork? I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna lie about any of this because I have no idea. So I'm like, no. And she's like, have you done anything in the 3 days you've been here? I'm like, I'm not admitting to this man I have amnesia. So we go over and he's like, what's your name? And the guy's like, I have no idea what my fucking name is. He's like, oh God. Okay. And he's like, there's no time for that. And the guy's like, okay. We go over, we talk to the cafeteria manager again. We try and get the breakdown of like what happened, the person who found the body, all this other stuff. And the guy's like, so we know you caused all that damage in the room right now. He's like, what's your name? And like, I had an option where it's like, I'm between names at the moment. I'm like, I'm definitely picking that.
I'm between names at the moment.
It's like, what? And like, one of my options is just like, you know, like how like bands, when they're trying to select where they want to be. And the other one's like, we don't have time for this. And I'm like, that. It's like, moving on, sir. And so the guy's like, look, I need you to pay back all of the damages you did in that room upstairs. Like, it sounds like you trashed the place. And I had options to be like, no, I can't do that right now. I don't have the money. Or like, and then there was like one that was like a skill check that's like, make a break for it.
Oh God.
And I had like a 60% chance of success. I'm like, this will be funny. It was. So I select make a break for it. It's like all of a sudden the guy's like, so I wonder how I should, and then my body starts running. And I just booking it full speed out towards the door. And it's like, before I even did like, and like one of the parts of your brain is like, before you even really know what's going on, your body is halfway across the room. And then you watch as my guy just turns around and double flips him off, is jumping backwards through the thing. And I realized at this moment, oh, I failed this skill check. Because right behind me is the woman in the wheelchair.
Oh, no.
And it's like, you've made a huge mistake. And one of my options is like, the one in the wheelchair is right behind me, isn't she? And I select that one. And it's like, you know it. And it's and I go unconscious, and like the reptilian brain is like, that was not a wise decision. Limbic system's like, are you okay? And so I wake up, like I'm brought back to consciousness on the floor, and it's like, you feel pain arcing through your whole body. You know what happens? I took 1 damage.
Oh.
I died.
And you died.
Oh no.
I had not saved at any point prior to this in the game.
Oh, dang.
So far my entire playthrough of the game, woke up with amnesia, got dressed, pretended, like lied my way through a conversation with a woman, insulted a dude, talked to a detective, did nothing. Talked to another guy, tried to make a break for it, kill myself by crashing into a woman in a wheelchair.
Oh my God.
That's my Disco Elysium story so far.
Oh my God.
I'm definitely playing more of this game.
That's hilarious.
I'm definitely giving myself at least 2 strength. So yeah,
I can do that again and hit the woman and still live.
maybe hard to say. So yeah, that's Disco Elysium.
Wow.
I've never played a game where I played 25 minutes of a 40-hour long RPG basically and just gone, well, I failed brutally. Can't wait to try this again. So yeah. And the last thing I was up to this week,
Yeah.
I watched an anime.
Oh, me too, I realized.
Oh, what anime did you watch? I've been talking for a while.
I've watched Babylon.
Oh, you did?
I watched 4 episodes, I think.
Show's fucking nuts, right?
Yeah, it's great so far.
Just wait till you get to episode 7, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Babylon, it's a good show. And do you agree the less you know going into it, the better?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a ride, bro. So, I'd been watching Babylon, and that was a lot. That was just intense. I'm like, I'm going to watch the opposite of an intense anime. And so I went on Crunchyroll,
Another.
sponsored.
Not
No,
sponsored.
Sponsored. And
Not.
and I watched Oresuki.
Okay.
The show is hilarious. So it is, and I heard about the show ahead of time, and I heard that it was good. It's part of the reason I gave it a shot. But it is essentially the story of a guy. It's just, a nice guy. He's got a great best friend. He's got a great childhood friend that he likes. He works on the student council. He's gotten close with the student council president and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a Friday, and his childhood friend is like, hey, want to meet up on Saturday and hang out and stuff? And he's like, okay, sure, that'd be fun. And then the student council president also kind of asked him out on a date for Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, no, I might be mixing up the order, but the fact is he basically has a date with both of these girls on one of these days.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yes, the prime of my childhood is here. I've been waiting for this for so long. And so Saturday comes. And he has this great, it was the student council president on Saturday. And he just has this great day with her, and everything's going great, and they go out shopping, they're hanging out, they're having a great time. And on the way home, he's like, I had a great time with you. And she's like, thanks. And they're walking by a bench, and she's like, there's something I need to say to you. And he's like, yes. And she's like, and she sits on the bench, take a seat next to me. And he's like, yes. And he sits down next to her. And she's like, there's somebody I like. And he's like, oh, really?
Oh, no.
He's like, and I'm so happy that just every time I see him, my heart pitter patters, and I get flushed, and just, I'm just happy every time I get to spend a day with him. And he's like, yeah, yeah.
Oh gosh.
And she's like, hey, and she leans in really close to him. He's like, yeah. She's like, can you help me secure a date with your best friend? And he's like, what? In English. Turns to the thing, what? And so, yeah, she is totally head over heels in love with his best friend, Sunshine. And she's just like, please help me. I never get the opportunity to see him, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, you got it. I will help you.
Oh, no.
And he's like, it's fine. You know what? It's cool. I can do that. I have a date tomorrow. This will work great. And so he goes out, goes on another great time, has a lot of fun. Childhood friend. It's like, hey, I have something I need to tell you.
Oh no.
Take a seat. It's the same bench. And he's like, oh no. He's like, no, it's fine. And she's like, and she gives the exact same speech.
Oh, no.
He's like, every time I'm with him, I'm so excited every moment I'm going to spend. He's like, okay, yeah, okay. He's like, can I tell you something? Like, I'm in love with Sunshine. Please help me. He's like, no.
That's hilarious.
And so, yeah, legitimately, she's just like, and he's like, okay. And she's like, please just help me however you can to help me date him. He's like, you got it.
Fuck.
And so now he goes home. And we discover that this nice guy, he's not a nice guy. He's a total asshole scumbag.
Uh-huh.
And he's been playing the nice guy to try and win his way into these girls' pants.
Oh, yeah.
And he is unbelievably pissed that his best friend has swept it under him and taken both of them away from him. And he's like, fine, it's fine. I know what I'll do. This plan is perfect. I'll help them both. And whoever loses, I'll take them.
Okay.
He's like, this is perfect. I'll help them both equally. Then I'll seem like a great guy. And whoever doesn't win, I'll be right there waiting. And he just has like, and so like we follow him the next day and he's acting like the same nice guy the whole time, but his internal monologue like, you fucking bitch. You knew how I felt about you and you're manipulating me. It's just like all this shit. And he basically is totally honest with both girls. He's like, look, I promised both of you I'd help you, and I'm so sorry. But I'm going to give 100% effort to both of you, work together with you to try and come up with like the best strategy on how you can win him over. And he legitimately does spend the day like trying to like help them and buy time. And these girls are fucking useless. Fucking useless. Like he writes a script to help his childhood friend like get some one-on-one time with his buddy.
Uh-huh.
And she's standing there. She's like, oh, I have to go do some student council work. You should speak with blah, 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 Chan. And she's like, that's my line. He's like, that's my line. And he's like, what? You're helping the student council? He's like,
no.
you fucking idiots. The other girl, the student council president, she overacts. So it's like she's in like a fucking kabuki play. She's like, oh, ho, 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 ho. And he's just like, this is impossible. I hate them both so much. Eventually, during lunch, to hide from them, because they keep trying to get his help, he goes to the library. He's like, look, the only problem with this library is the creepy girl that's here. And she's nice to everybody, but she's a total fucking bitch to me. You see this girl just wearing glasses, like pigtails, and she just comes, sits down next to him. She's like, you're just trying to hide from those girls? He's like, what? It's like, I bet it must be exhausting trying to help them win over your friend. He's
What
like,
the fuck?
how do you know this? He's like, well, when I was stalking you over the last couple days. He's like, what? He's like, look, it's okay. I'm the only person who knows who you truly are. He's like, please get away from me now. And she's like, look, there's something I need to tell you. And it pans over, and in the library, the same goddamn bench. And she's like, take a seat next to me. He's like, I would really rather not. But eventually, yeah, he heads over to the bench, and she's like, and she gives the exact same speech again. He's like, it's fine, it's cool, we're good. She loves Sun-chan too. All right, how do I help 3 women win over one guy? And she's like, I'm in love with you. He's like, God, no, please, God, no. He's like, not this one. Oh, shit. He's like, no, I hate you. I want nothing to do with you. Please get away from me. And she's like, it's okay. I understand. You don't need to be mean to me, though. It's cool. I'll see you later. He's like, when? Where are you? What is going on? And so, yeah, eventually, he just avoids her as much as humanly possible, as she is still clearly stalking him. If you keep watching in like the background or the foreground of scenes, she's there. If you pay attention earlier on in the episode, she's also watching both of the confessions.
Wow.
But yeah, it's and then eventually he talks to his friend, and his friend's like, look, I have something I need to tell you. And he's like, oh Jesus. And you know what? There's the damn bench again. And so it starts literally turning into, every time he sees the bench, a clear homage to the Imperial March from Star Wars starts playing. And he's like, what's happening now? And his friend's like, please sit next to me. He's like, oh Jesus. Oh no. What could this be? What's going on now? And his friend's giving the exact same speech again, twirling his hair just like the girls were.
Okay.
He's like, look, there's somebody I'm in love with. He's like, cool. As long if it's one of these 2 girls, it'll be fine. We'll just move on. This will make my life so much easier. And he's like, it's the freaking stalking girl.
Oh my God.
And he's like, what the fuck is my life?
Oh my God.
And thus begins one of the silliest shows I've ever seen. And what's great about the show is it's clearly a mockery of the harem genre.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it is equal parts completely silly and farcical, and also actually kind of touching in a weird way at certain spots. Because like central to this show is the relationship between all of these characters. And you do have, like, in a way you never see in these sorts of shows, like, the relationship between these two guys is crucial to the story. Because as much of a douche as our main character is, he legitimately cares about Sun and considers him his best friend.
Yeah.
And will want to make him happy almost over anything. To a point to where, like, this show plays up on this so bad to where, like, this is just the gayest relationship on earth in the sweetest of ways. Like, I'm legitimately not sure at times. I'm like, are they gay for each other? I don't know.
That's what I thought you were going to say. When
Yeah.
That would have complicated things.
Yeah, it would have. But yeah, like, there's just, like, all these crazy situations that just constantly play out. And, like, they have the rough patches, but, like, their relationship is arguably just as important as any other relationship in the anime, which is nice and refreshing. It's just a dude friendship, and they might be a little gay for one another. But I mean, I've watched 8 of the 10 episodes available for this show so far, and I just love it. It's just so much fun, and all of these characters are pretty damn lovable, and it just works. And it is a bit good times. It does have its fan servicey moments, of course. That's its job. So it's one of those things where it's like at once it is both a total send-up to the harem genre and actually a pretty good harem anime at the same time. Which is exactly how you want to have your cake and eat it too.
What was it called?
Oresuki, You're the Only One That Loves Me. It's like Oresuki.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. It's a good time. I recommend watching it. I liked it a lot. I'm still watching it. It's not over yet. Just saying. So yeah. Those are the things I've mostly been up to other than crazy work stuff that I've told you guys about earlier, but you at home don't get to know.
Sorry, suckers.
That's what the $20 Patreon podcast, Our Feelings, is for.
Our feeling?
Our Feelings.
That's the name of the podcast.
Yep.
But I mean, how did you feel about the Game Awards that just happened?
I didn't watch them at all.
Neither did I.
I've heard they were not great.
Well,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. You didn't hear about the Xbox Series X?
Okay, no, I did hear something about that. It came up on my Google feed.
Your Google feeds?
I didn't click on it, though.
I am excited for Hellblade 2.
Right. That the launch title for the Xbox Series X.
Senua Saga Hellblade 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting. I mean...
Did you ever play the first one?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
I've heard.
I bet.
Yeah, but I mean, basically just an Xbox PC.
100%, yeah.
It's just a tower.
They are not hiding it anymore.
No, they're just like, we'll go for it. But I mean, yeah, I haven't played the original Hellblade, but it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Got Bravely Default 2 announced for Switch.
Uh-huh.
First Bravely Default was so good.
Uh-huh.
Moving on.
And there was that Player Unknown's
That
new
single
game.
player unknown game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Prologue. Also Sons of the Forest, which is the Forest sequel. You ever play The Forest?
I have indeed played The Forest, my friend. I am terrible at it and never got very far.
I've seen gameplay through the whole story. That's a fucking interesting story. Kind of weird.
Wouldn't know.
No, it's weird.
Just like my story in The Forest is ran away from a crashed airplane, built a house, got attacked by cannibals, killed them, built up a wall. Suddenly monster cannibal things started coming at me and I died. The Forest.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. All in all, though, the Game Awards had happened, and things won awards.
Yeah, we saw Ghost of Tsushima. That
We knew that was coming.
yeah, and I was actually excited for that at E3, and it looks really cool. I want to know how it will play more so, but I'm interested for it. I'm all there for it.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that the full trailer was coming because of the State of Play PlayStation stream that dropped earlier in the week, which had Yeah. Really quick before that, though. Yeah, The Wolf Among Us 2 being announced.
Yeah.
Re-announced, I guess, technically. That's exciting. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I think I played only the first 2 episodes of the first.
Oh, the first Wolf Among Us was so good. What a ride.
Uh-huh.
What a ride, baby. Woohoo! Ah, woo.
And then we're going back to Skyrim in Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep.
Because Skyrim is everywhere.
Because
They
Kyle
just-
loves that place.
They just gotta let it go. It's like one of the most boring provinces.
Well, for Elder Scrolls Online, they've had Morrowind.
Morrowind's super
Somerset.
cool.
Now they had Elsewhere, and now they're going back to Skyrim. Because previously, the only places that were reachable in Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online was Riften, like the Rift, and I think Eastmarch. So only 2 of the holds.
Yeah.
If even not even the full holds, I don't think. So I think we're getting the full of Skyrim, but and I still really
I think
like
they
Elder
just
Scrolls
figured
Online.
they need more practice making the map of Skyrim. Like, look, I don't think we nailed it the 36 first time, so let's just do it again. Look, for all you ESO fans, I'm so happy for you. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Because I've never played that game, and I don't care enough to. But one fun thing from... Did you watch the State of Play?
No.
Okay, do you know what was announced during it officially? It had leaked already a couple weeks prior.
Not that I recall.
All right, so what we got... have you seen anything for Project Resistance, which is that asynchronous multiplayer Resident Evil game?
No, I have not.
It's an asynchronous multiplayer Resident Evil game where 4 players play as different survivors trying to get through this terrible series of rooms and stuff that are designed to try and kill them. And another player plays basically a mastermind, setting up the room, setting up traps, throwing enemies at them, and also occasionally taking control of Mr. X to try and kill him.
Okay.
So we knew about that, and we're oh, okay, we guess that's a holdover until the next Resident Evil game. And we're there's probably going to be some single player component to it. So what they did was they're one of the last things we're going to be announcing today is the single player, here's a trailer for the single player component of Project Resistance. And we're oh, okay, cool. It's Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And people had talked about that being a possibility, but I don't think anyone believed them. Because that's just it's coming out in February.
Jeez.
That's barely a year after Resident Evil 2 Remake. So it's become abundantly clear that they were making these at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Which makes sense. But still, what the fuck? I was not expecting Resident Evil 3 Remake anywhere near that quickly. And I'm super stoked. You want to know how stoked I am, Chase?
How stoked are you?
I'm replaying Resident Evil 2.
Oh my god, again?
Again?
They added new stuff to it.
Oh, fun.
Oh.
And by new stuff to it, I mean a new thing. I got a new trophy for it last night.
Oh, yay.
There's a letter from Jill now that you can find during Leon's playthrough.
Okay.
I'm oh, hey. And it literally just pops up a little achievement. I'm oh, shit, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually recording that whole playthrough. I'm not doing well. It's been too long. I've died twice.
Wow.
It's very shameful. But because I was overconfident still in my abilities, foolishly, it had been 25 minutes since I'd saved.
Oh no.
Oh, nice.
I was Jesus. Whatever. You gotta, work your way back up.
Yeah. We also got an announcement for a new BioShock.
Apparently that's been in development for quite some time.
Yeah, and for the next several years.
Yeah.
By a new studio under 2K.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Ken Levine isn't going to have anything to do with it, so he's off doing his own thing. And so, again, part of the reason I'm not super stoked for it.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be, but...
It's look, BioShock had had one masterpiece, one amazing game, and one pretty good game. That's not bad for 3 games in a series. But, I don't know. What is it going to be? Is it just going to be going back to Rapture again? Is it going to be going back to Columbia again? Because that feels part of the problem with BioShock 2 was it just, okay, we're doing Rapture again. And that was okay, but what more stories do we honestly have to tell here? And then, BioShock Infinite, we got Columbia, a whole new city. And you're okay, cool. And then it managed to tie its way back into the other games. You're okay, cool. So what? Are we just gonna have a whole new city again? We did one deep underwater. We did one in the sky. Is space? Is
Space.
this gonna be?
Space.
Is it just gonna be an underground city? Like what's it gonna be? Is it just gonna be a city? Are we just gonna
Hell, the
drive into
possibilities
town?
are endless.
Are we just gonna drive into a town? BioShock, small town America. Like, I
Salem.
I just have no idea. And it might be exciting, and I might be totally wrong, and I'd be happy to be totally wrong. But I doubt it.
Well, Death Stranding got Game of the Year, right?
What?
Oh wait,
No, it didn't. At the Game Awards?
who got Game of the Year?
Sekiro.
All right, duh. MB.
And fucking randomly as all hell, IGN's Game of the Year just... I'm like, what? It was Control.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Look, I platinumed Control. I liked that game. Game of the Year? No. No.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone knows Resident Evil 2 is the Game of the Year.
2019 Game of the Year, Resident Evil 2.
I mean, it's mine. I mean, we're far enough in now. I feel I can safely say that. Unless my next week with Disco Elysium totally changes my mind.
Well, hey, Game Crate's Game of the Year is also Control.
What the fuck?
Runner-ups are Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, and Sekiro.
Dude.
But yeah,
Outer
that's right.
Wilds,
Sekiro got Game of the
Outer
Year.
Wilds is such a game. It's such a great game. Did you play it at all?
I did not.
You should. It's so good.
I probably won't, but okay.
God damn you!
Yeah.
Like, you would really like Outer Wilds. I promise you.
Okay. But yeah, Sekiro did get Game of the Year, and I have not played that either. I haven't played like a majority of those games.
I think the only real Game of the Year contender that you actually put any time into at all is the Outer Worlds.
Yeah. This is true.
I know. What other games have you played this year?
Not for
The first half of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Like new games?
Yes, new games.
Like games of 2019? Or like,
Yes. The Outer Worlds.
I didn't even play fucking Kingdom Hearts 3.
I know you didn't.
wow.
I don't think I really played anything. new.
Mortal Kombat? Was that this year? I don't know if that
Mortal
was this
Kombat 11?
year. Yeah.
That was this year.
Yeah, so
Yay,
yeah.
there you go. I got you one.
Yeah.
She's got your back.
Holy crap.
Did it just hate you how little games you've actually played this year?
Yeah.
Hey. Man of Medan.
Man of
Oh,
Medan.
yeah.
Man in my van.
Oh my gosh.
Except we're gonna leave.
Nope. Resident Evil 2 remake.
That was this
For a
year?
bit.
I mean,
Oh.
I don't know if we can call that you played it.
like 30 minutes.
40.
Yeah, it was about 40.
And that's about it.
Wow. I can't even list all the games I played this year.
Speaking of which, how many platinums do you have now, Kyle?
I have 12.
Nice.
That's
one for
every
every
month of the year.
That is correct. I'm aiming for 13 now. See if I can get one more platinum before the end of the year.
Nice.
Still trying to decide the game to do that for, though.
Well, you don't have much time.
I know.
Also, because Star Wars.
I know.
Oh, God.
And holidays.
Yep. I still have so many gifts to buy.
I haven't bought any.
Nice.
You
Besides,
got 10 days.
besides for one person.
My mom got lazy and she was like, yesterday, after we went out to breakfast with my aunt and my cousin, she was like, hey, let's go to Vaughn's. And I was like, okay, sure,
Vaughn's?
Mom. Yeah, and she walks and makes a beeline for the gift cards. And she's like, this is my Christmas shopping this year. She just picks up all the gift cards. I'm like, you know what? That's fair.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind a gift card. She's like, great. This is what I'm also getting you. She's like, you see this Starbucks card? This is for you. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
So my mom finished yesterday.
Good for her.
A span of like 10 minutes max.
Good for her. Jesus. Whatever. The beginning of next year is going to be fucking crazy for games. So
What comes out?
What doesn't come out, Chase?
What doesn't come out? I can't think of something.
Ooh, fun fact. This is totally unrelated to this at all, and it's not even next year. But in 2021, in May, as of right this second, John Wick 3 and The Matrix 4 are both releasing on the same day.
Holy shit!
Wait, what?
It's,
Okay.
It's Keanu Reeves.
Wow,
Keanu
Reeves Day.
Weekend. Yeah, one of those movies is definitely going to get moved. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
There's too much crossover in those. Oh, are you looking up 2020 in gaming?
Yeah.
You're one step ahead of me.
Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
On PC. It's been out for a while.
On Win.
What a win.
Yakuza Like a Dragon. Oh, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's already lying.
A new Oddworld?
No.
Or is it a remake?
Stranger's Wrath HD.
HD, okay.
HD is generally a hint that no, that's the Oddworld game where you play as the hunter dude who has a crossbow that fires animals.
Okay.
That's the only Oddworld game I've played.
Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics.
Yep, it's a strategy game. Yakuza 5 is being re-released on PS4 in February. We get Darksider Genesis and the official release of Dreams both on Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, and Street Fighter V Champion Edition on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is that in the West also for this? 1 sec. Yeah, no. Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers is just in Japan.
Oh, did you see? I'm sure you did see Persona 5 Royal. We never talked about it.
Yeah, because it exists. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole until it's out here. I've avoided everything about that game because I want to know nothing about the new story stuff.
Oh.
Because I don't want to get it spoiled. I had stuff spoiled for me for the original Persona 5. It's a problem about a game coming out like 9 months before it came out here.
Right.
But yeah, March 3rd, my birthday, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Wabam.
That's right.
Could they have made me happier? No.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Also, 1 week later, 1 week after that, Fairy Tail. Doesn't do much for me. But
My Hero One's Justice 2?
yeah.
Huh.
Also Neo 2.
Neo 2. Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Doom Eternal.
Doom 64.
Yeah. But
Comes out with Doom Eternal.
March is nuts. Bleeding Edge comes out.
And then Persona 5 Royal.
Yes. So March alone is going to break my bank.
And Half-Life Alex.
I do not have any VR. Nor the space.
That's Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 is VR.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, basically March. Oh, and sorry. I said it was in February, but it's in April. Is April 3rd. Resident Evil 3. Also,
hey,
2 weeks 2 weeks later, Cyberpunk 2077.
That's Q2. Doesn't matter. Doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because basically...
And Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah. Basically, essentially between March and May is like so many games I want. Why would
Last
they
of
do
Us Part
this?
2.
Yes. That used to be sooner. Those
Marvel's
fuckers.
Avengers.
They took that from me.
I mean, there's a lot of games, but probably on this list, the only ones that I would probably actually play
Or none of them. None of them.
You don't play games,
I played
honey?
Cyberpunk.
Will you?
I'll play Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Will
And
you?
Minecraft Dungeons, maybe.
Heard it's a
Okay.
mess.
And Persona 5 Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Did you finish Persona 5?
That's different.
Wait, but how is that different?
It's not a sequel.
Okay.
It's basically the exact same game re-released with like 40 hours of more content in a 100-hour game.
So then I
Okay,
won't.
but my question is, Chase, when's the last time you played Persona 5?
When did it come out?
2015? 2016? 2017? One of these years.
2016.
I was with you when you bought it.
Oh.
Oh,
That's right.
It's 2017 in the West, I believe.
I don't know.
Wasn't it?
That's
2017 in the West?
Wasn't it?
when. I don't know if it was like brand new when he got it though.
No.
I was with him though when he dragged me to several GameStops to find it.
It was 2017 in the West.
Ah.
So yeah, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, I think I got it in 2017.
Mhm.
Maybe.
It's been 2 years, Chase.
Yeah.
How much progress have you made in that game?
How many hours is it? I mean, I've
The game?
okay. How many?
About 100.
How many?
How many palaces are there?
Yeah, how many palaces are there?
How many palaces have you done?
3.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So, God, what's the third palace? God, it's been a while. Is that the one with Makoto?
I don't remember names.
Like
it's
the gangster guy who's the bug? It's been a while.
maybe just 2. I don't know. It's the one with the wait. Fuck. I think the last one I did was
Madarame, the artist?
yeah, the artist.
That's the second one.
Oh fuck, then just 2.
So you're gonna play Persona 5?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
you're
year?
you're maybe a fifth of the way into the game.
Yeah. And then I'll add more content. Then I'll add more content and be less than a fifth into the game.
So
Yeah.
if this came out in
0% chance.
2017, I'm assuming you played it 2017.
And probably haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not playing
It's
this game.
been like
I'm-
2 years.
I'm playing this game. I resolved myself. There's also Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. that was
Dude,
announced,
that looks great.
which I have no idea.
Don't watch the trailer.
I'm not gonna watch the trailer.
It'd be a huge spoiler for stuff that happens at the end of the game.
I feel like you have a better chance of getting to that.
Much better. Much better chance.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited for Remind because it takes the end of the game and makes it better. Makes it
Oh.
arguably what it should have been the whole goddamn time.
Mm.
Because I played that whole game for the ending and I loved like the last couple hours of it, but it does feel rushed. And so like we're just gonna expand that a lot. And a lot more characters are playable. Instead of it turning into all these characters with their personal like, struggles against certain villains, and then Sora shows up and beats those villains. You're like, oh. Well, I'm really glad we spent all this time getting invested in all of these people's problems that Sora could beat the bad guy.
Right.
That was getting annoying. That was all of it. It was literally just fight all of these bad guys in pairs. So they never even got their own individual screen time, and you only played as Sora during that chunk. And I'm like, but there's so many other playable characters that are just right there. Those fuckers. Yeah.
Well,
But now, like, I think like the playable roster for the end of the game is like up to like 7 people.
when does that DLC come out?
January?
Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta hurry. Kingdom Hearts 3 is not that long of a game, bro.
Well,
And despite all the shit talk, it's still a good game. It's not gonna happen. We all know it's not gonna happen.
should I play 2.8?
You're never going to!
I have bought it.
But you aren't going to play it. Chase.
How long is 2.8?
Which one? There's
Doesn't
3
matter.
things in there.
It doesn't matter.
Look,
Just watch the playthrough.
by 2.8, are you talking about the little aqua thing?
Yeah.
It's like an hour long.
Oh, play that one, Chase. You can do that.
It's like so short.
You can do that one, Chase. I believe in you.
I did everything there is to do in that in 3.5 hours.
That's your game, Chase.
Okay.
He still
One
probably
sitting.
won't finish it.
You know.
As long as you just keep making forward momentum, you'll beat it. Yeah. Other than that. Ooh, another thing I did this week. I watched a movie. I watched a couple movies.
Ooh.
One was an old movie, one was a new movie.
Ooh. What movies, Kyle?
Yesterday, I watched Richard Jewell.
I've heard of
Oh,
that.
when did
I
that
don't
come
know
out?
what that is.
Yeah, it came out this weekend.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's where I saw it when I was buying tickets. I saw it.
It's Clint Eastwood's new
Ah.
movie
Yeah.
about the security guard that helped prevent the bombing in Atlanta in
Yeah.
'96.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
Coming back
then
to me.
and then everyone and then like the FBI and the media accused him of doing it
Yeah.
and ruined his life.
Oh, poor guy.
And he definitely didn't do it.
Yep.
Oh,
Poor guy.
It's a good movie.
good movie.
It's a good movie.
I mean, Clint Eastwood though. So.
Well, Clint Eastwood's
Well-
like 50-50.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of not great movies recently.
Recently. Mm-hmm.
This is probably
Old
his best
stuff,
movie
though.
since like Gran Torino.
Ah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was very well acted. Very well acted. And I recommend watching it.
Yeah, there's John Hamm.
He's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, your daddy was fine.
No.
You're supposed to hate him in this
Yeah.
movie, so
Yeah.
like He's one of the villains.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, he was the villain in Baby Driver too, but I loved him.
Yeah, but he was
That-
much more lovable in that.
yeah, that was a lovable villain. I saw the trailers for this one, and you just instantly you're like, "Ooh, I hate that guy."
Yeah,
Not
he's
good
a
guy.
he's a dick.
I feel like it fits his face though.
Oh no, he definitely has that dickish face.
Dick face.
I didn't say that. I said dickish, not dick.
Dick face.
You changed it, Chase.
So
Dick
you're just
face.
thinking about your daddy John Hamm with his dick face.
Oh my god.
The other movie I watched was Lake Mungo.
The fuck?
Don't know that one.
It's a good movie.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a horror film
Ooh.
from 10, 15 years ago. I think it was, I don't think it was 15. It was like maybe within the last 10 years, maybe a little older, but Lake Mungo. It is the story. It's basically a mockumentary, but it's not a comedy. It's made to look like it's a documentary all about this girl who drowned.
Oh, nice.
But then the family becomes convinced that her spirit is haunting their house.
Oh god.
Ooh, fun.
And it is a ride. I know I'm supposed to say more things. But it's like a haunting film. It's not super scary. But it's also not trying to be super scary. It's much more scary in like a real sort of way. Where it's just like these people are like they're being haunted by this ghost. But is she even there, or is it just a memory of her? And it's just these people dealing with like this trauma.
Oh god.
And then you learn more about her in the time leading up to her death and all of these secrets about her that her family had no idea about.
Oh.
And it's just a total tragedy of a story. And then it gets real creepy. There's a thing that happens towards the end of the film that you're just like, fuck. Yeah. That would mess with me too. Yeah, so like the whole movie spends like a bunch of time going like, is this actually supernatural? Is it not? Oh, it definitely is. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Oh, okay, I've learned some more information about this. And it just kind of plays with that back and forth because the acting in it is incredibly good because it feels incredibly real.
Right.
It just feels like they're actually interviewing these family members and like these other people.
Uh-huh.
And so it feels like you're watching a documentary, which helps you automatically, like in a film, normally when there's like a ghost sort of thing happening, you're like, oh, okay, it's a ghost. But the movie feels so grounded that you're like, okay, what's really happening?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Which really helps like sell it. And then when some crazy shit does start going down, you're like, you feel so much more in with these characters and the things that they're going through. It just works really well. It's a good movie, and I really enjoyed it. It's on Amazon Prime Instant Video if you would like to watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I got.
And it came out in 2008.
Okay, so 11 years ago.
Looks pretty interesting.
It is pretty interesting.
I'm not watching it.
It's a watch.
Yeah,
I honestly, it's the kind of horror movie you could watch. I don't think it would scare you.
Okay.
I think from what I've heard and what I just saw, it looks like the kind that would freak me out because
Yeah.
it's the more realistic one.
It feels super real. Yeah.
Cheyenne doesn't get freaked out, so
Okay.
Cheyenne's the bravest person in this room, easily.
yeah.
Speaking of which, so I don't like ballet.
What the fuck?
Oh shit. Swan Lake.
But I was forced to watch a ballet recently. And
The Magic Flute.
no, Swan Lake.
Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
No, Swan Lake. But this version was very interesting. The men were the swans.
Uh-huh.
And it was highly aggressive and borderline not appropriate for children. And I went on a school field trip with kids for this version of the... I think from what I could tell, it looked like they took some things out because it was meant... Because this was a performance meant to show kids and culturalize
wait.
kids.
Was Swan Lake the one with the lesbian Mila Kunis and Natalie Portman?
Okay, so that's Black Swan.
Black Swan.
Okay, that's Black Swan, and in the movie they are
performing Swan.
performing
Okay.
Swan Lake.
Okay.
But Swan
That's my
Lake.
cultural touchstone.
Yeah, okay. So Swan, I didn't know anything about Swan Lake except for that movie because
Ditto.
I don't do ballet.
Uh-huh.
Ballet, just not for me. I was forced to participate in, I forgot what grade. I think it was middle school. I fell and just, last day of dance, never had to do it again. Yeah, there was also a time where I knocked a whole bunch of people over because I fell. And then just like a row of people started
Dominoes.
stumbling.
It's the best.
Yeah, dance scares me. Anyway.
Dance scares me.
Yeah.
That's our quote of the day.
Cheyenne, the bravest among us. Scared by
of
dance.
Dance is weird, man.
Yeah. Anyway, this version of Swan Lake was borderline not appropriate for kids. It was a great. If there was ever
All
a ballet,
the male swans fucking.
I mean, it was looted.
was
There's a
cockfight.
lot of.
It was looted.
There
It was
was
lewd.
there was a
looted.
lot of sexual interludes here that like some of the older kids totally got, and they're like whooping in the audience. But in front of me were clearly elementary schoolers who are like 7, and they're like, "What's going on? Why are they doing those things?" And there's this one part where so the swans are male, and it's
Yes.
still a male prince, so it's very gay at the end.
Mhm.
Which I thought it actually worked really well with the way that they're trying to portray the story in this case.
Uh-huh.
But the male swan is very aggressive, and there's like this scene that's low-key kind of rapey because he's magically like hypnotizing the people at this ball, and all of a sudden you like, because you can see they're mystified, and this lady comes up to him and they start doing things. They're dancing, but like as an adult,
Sexually.
I know what this means.
Yeah.
And then they're on the floor and he's on top of her, and I'm like, this is kind of rapey. Also, there's like a group of dancers just all around, just watching, and I'm like, this is really
Okay.
not appropriate for these 7-year-olds
What's happening?
in front of me. I'm like, what's happening? And then there's low-key a threesome happening in the background.
Everyone's favorite, the background threesome. Key part of Swan Lake.
Yeah, there's like this low-key threesome just happening in the back. So in live performances, a lot of things happen all together, and there's a lot of misdirection. But from my angle, this was like the center of the stage for me. And I'm like, I hope these like 3-year-old, these like
3-year-olds.
three,
I'll take a
These
3-year-old.
threesome-year-olds.
these
Oh,
3
God.
7-year-olds like are okay. Because there's also a lot of loud effects happening and
Yeah.
light effects, and one of them screamed at one point, and I was like, it was not meant for the elementary schoolers.
Who thought this was a good idea?
I don't know. For high schoolers, I totally get it because there's a lot to like analyze here, because they had their notes and I think they had to do like an analysis, but totally was not for elementary schoolers. It was
Wait,
a great performance though.
I saw a ballet, I think, when I was like
I'm sure you
7.
did.
But I totally don't remember. I just remember going, sitting down, and then that's it. I don't
Okay.
remember anything about it.
Yeah, so we got to this theater
It might have been
and
sexual.
no, okay.
You
So we
repressed it.
Yeah, it's
we got
oppressed.
to this theater and I had these flashbacks, and I was like, I've totally been here before. Why do I know I've been here before? And I looked at the posters of past performances, and I saw one of, I think it's called Carmen.
That's an opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a ballet
Yeah.
theater,
Okay.
but
Just
it's
saying,
so
that's
it's
an opera.
yeah, it's a theater in LA. I totally have been there at least twice. I think one was for Don Quixote, a performance of Don Quixote, but one of them, I realized there's a rape in, I think, Carmen.
What?
I think it's Carmen. And there's
What?
totally a rape that happened that I witnessed in elementary school.
Then now you understand.
Yeah, that now I understand. When I saw that scene for Swan Lake, I was like, oh God, wait, no, I know what happened to that other one.
It's just like your mind open.
Clarity.
Yeah, I'm like, why? I
Oh, shit.
know this is like performance, but why is this okay for elementary school?
It's not. And who like Was there any discussion afterwards? Like, we probably shouldn't have taken these children to this.
Okay, so I was with high schoolers.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the elementary school kids did, but I know for the high schoolers, they didn't talk about crap. We went on the bus. The teacher was like, "Hey, did you guys like the performance?" And the yeah.
I have mixed feelings.
I just watched a man swan rape a man swan. I'm just gonna move on with my life.
Yeah, and they're like, the teacher was talking about all the technical aspects because she's a dance teacher, and the kids were like,
But what about the threesome and the rape?
Yeah.
But did you notice the footwork?
Exactly.
I was
That's
not
what it
looking at anyone's feet.
That's exactly what the conversation turned into, and I'm like, oh dang. I was like, I'm glad I'm not a student because I would not want to have to write an analysis for this.
Like all the analysis, like rape, threesome.
Yeah. And there's one part, it's so sad because the queen is like very distant from her son, who's the prince, who's very clearly struggling with his sexuality. And the queen's just like, nah, bro, arm's length. I don't hug you. You're my son, but I'm putting you in a mental facility.
Stories for elementary school.
Oh my, okay. So he's, at this point, they know he's gay. And they take him to the mental facility. And they're operating on him.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's one of two ways this can go. And I'm pretty sure it's not the good way. Because they...
He's cured!
Because they cover him with other dancers and they're doing dance moves, but you hear him yell in the background. And I'm like, I don't think these kids know what's happening, which is probably good for them. But I don't know. This is good for them to be here. Because they very clearly show the doctor going in a certain direction because the shadow work, which was like brilliantly done in this production, but still, children are present.
Good.
And I can already tell they took out a scene or they took out a portion because there's something that kind of, I don't know, there's something in the way it transitions that was very different from the way the rest of the show was transitioning.
Okay.
But it wasn't quite like, oh, this is an artistic choice. It's like, we can't have this here.
Okay.
Oh no.
And yeah.
If
So
the threesome made it on stage. What the fuck?
So it was like an alluded threesome because there's one woman.
I understand what's happening.
Yeah,
I'm just...
okay. But yeah, it's a great show though.
Good to know.
Just don't take children to
my
it.
God.
Cool. It's
Is it suitable for my 5-year-old?
It's not suitable for me.
If you're highly offended by anything, don't go to this.
Don't go to the gay Swan Lake somewhere in LA.
It's definitely not meant for people who like traditional ballet. Don't go to it.
Okay.
But if you like cutting edge, new agey stuff, this is for you.
Cool.
When you say new age, I think modern English for some reason.
Cool. I remembered. Okay. I don't know why. Oh, I remember why. That I remember. There was actually another new game I played this week.
Okay.
It is Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey.
Oh, you played that?
Damn right I did.
The monkey one?
Damn right I did. It's an interesting game.
There's also Humankind, the Ancestor. Okay.
Nope, there's not.
There was Humankind that was announced. Oh, I think it was announced.
Yeah, but that's an interesting game. I got it on my PS4. This is the one with the tutorials. Apparently on PC, they're just like, figure it out.
Oh.
Which, to be fair, still a little bit of that in this one, too. But I at least felt semi-guided in what I was doing. Yeah. Apparently, when the game first came out, they're like, we're not going to teach you how this game works.
Were you guided to mate?
I was. I needed to make babies. You need to make babies, and then you need to have those babies grow up to be adults, and then you need to pass on genetic mutations and lock them in so that your society can develop into even better versions of monkeys.
Yeah, that's how the world works.
I did real well, though. I made a lot of evolutionary feats that were ahead of time.
Nice. Okay.
I was, yeah. I thought...
Like consensual?
Yes. Jesus Christ.
No, ahead of the time. Like, it's consensual. Because everyone
Okay.
knows the animal kingdom is not consensual.
Yeah, I get that. But it's fine. No, because like basically there's like a timeline. Because like the game takes place over like 10 million years.
Wow.
You evolve a lot over the course of this game.
Wow.
But when you're actually going through the evolution phase, the game, there are a bunch of things called evolutionary feats, which are basically achievements that you accomplish. But the game has a timeline on when they supposedly happen in real life.
Yeah.
Or at least like corresponding things.
Yeah.
And so for some of them, when you're going through the evolutionary phase, it'll be like, wow, you did that ahead of time. More years pass. You're jumping farther ahead in the game because you did things way early.
Yeah.
Just gonna keep saying yeah.
Yeah.
Classic chase response.
Classic chase response.
Yeah. Continue.
But the game's really interesting because you play as a group of early man primate ancestry peoples. And
Adam and Eve?
It's Adam and Steve. No,
The reason they were in Swan Lake too.
Well, what made me think of that is that I wasn't paying a bunch of attention at one point in the game yesterday. And I'd gone to a new generation and stuff, and I was pairing up all my monkeys to make the babies, because you need babies around.
Yeah.
So basically the game works in this way. So you have your little monkey friends, and by doing certain actions over and over again, or just like accomplishing certain things, you basically are able to unlock nodes on essentially what is like an ability grid.
Okay.
It's like a giant ability tree that like centers around like this neurological node. And you can basically earn essentially experience to like funnel in points to that to unlock these abilities. To allow you to do things like, you can notice things from farther away. Your sense of hearing improves. Your sense of sound improves. Your sense of smell improves.
Uh-huh.
You can stand up on two legs for short periods of time. You're better at like fighting off predators. You can better communicate and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You plug points in. The way you actually earn experience is by doing a bunch of things when children are present.
Okay.
Because it's like
Makes sense, yeah.
passing on the knowledge.
Yes.
So basically, it's like a weird gamble, because the most efficient thing to do is have two kids with you at all times, like giving piggyback rides essentially while you're doing incredibly dangerous things.
Uh-huh.
And then you could just be murdered. And then the children are stranded out in the middle of like nature, and then they can be murdered if you don't save them in time.
Oh, shit.
And I have had many children die. It fucks up, man. It fucks you in bad ways. I'm just like, no. I think it's even worse when one of those kids had a genetic mutation that I was looking for. I was like, no, you are the future, damn it. Damn you, Moo, you stupid little monkey.
Moo the monkey.
But yeah, so you fill out this the grid and stuff, but eventually you're gonna hit a point where you kind of want to move forward because your things are starting to age out, or you're running out of monkeys.
Oh no.
And yeah, you can then essentially pass a generation, and you essentially have a number of locks. So however many kids you have, plus there are a couple other ways you can bump this number up. You can lock certain abilities that you've unlocked that'll pass on to the next generation.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, once you pass it on, everything you don't have locked, you have to re-get.
Oh no.
And you're like, God, that's annoying. Every time I have a new whole group of kids, I need to basically just get a whole bunch more experience to relearn how to do everything I knew how to do before.
Wait, there's a monkey in the room? My childhood dreams are coming true.
But also you need to, so you just keep doing this enough times to try and accomplish as many evolutionary feats as possible. Once you've done enough of them, you evolve. And the game totals up all the evolutionary feats you've essentially done, and you jump forward hundreds of thousands of years.
Oh shit.
Or in my case, just shy of 1 million.
Oh my god.
Dang, okay.
I did a lot of feats, guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you basically become like a new type of like ancestor to
Primate?
humanity.
Yeah.
And so right now I am a Sahelanthropus.
Uh-huh. That's a word.
Yep. a word I only know because of Metal Gear Solid 5. But
Okay.
but yeah, I am a Sahelanthropus, so I'm a slightly more better monkey. But also when you evolve, basically, it picks some of the evolutionary like nodes and stuff and locks them permanently. And so the farther you get in the game, the more you evolve, the more like the better starting point you have, which makes sense.
To a point where you can fly and move things with your mind.
No,
I
that
want
is
that.
Oh, we're not there yet?
that's
Oh.
patently untrue.
Oh, darn it.
But yeah, the game is it's really interesting. It is very hands off in terms of all of your things that you do.
Okay.
The game's like, what makes sense? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's like, well, you want to make a spear, right? I'm like, well, yeah. Okay. So here's what you should do. You should go to a dead tree and rip a branch off of it. Then you should remove all of the small parts. So you just get the main part of the branch. So you just got to do like this little thing where you like strip it. And then you got to take a rock. You just got to beat the shit out of the end of the stick to sharpen it into a thing. Every time you want to make a spear.
Oh, okay.
And it's like 10 hits. I was like, cool. And then you know what happens when an enemy attacks you? You're like, woohoo. And you stab the enemy and it's in them. Your spear's done. Enemy's not dead though. You no longer have a spear. You should probably run.
You can't just take it out.
No. You
Aw.
can't be all of your attacks, at least in my point in the game, I don't know if that changes, are counterattacks in response to a thing trying to murder you.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also, okay, here's the thing. When I play games, I like some, like, depending on the game, if it's like an open worldy thing where like I'm not going through a lot of story or there's not a lot of dialogue or whatever, I like to listen to like podcasts or music or whatever as I play. But here's the thing about this game. There's a sound cue that it makes to tell you when to like essentially release a trigger to accomplish a task.
Oh God.
And so here's what'll happen. You walk up, you grab the stick by pressing like X off a tree. You're going to want to then press L1 to put it into your other hand because your right hand is what you use to alter things. You're using your right hand to alter the thing in your left hand. You hold down L1. Then you hold down R1 to where your hand will get into position, and you let it go at the time when the game makes a noise, and then you will successfully strip the thing and make a stick. Then you will grab a rock with X, and then you will hold down L1 to go into the alter mode. You will set it down on the ground, and you will hold R1 until it gets to the point where it makes a little click click noise, and then you'll hit it. And you'll repeat, and then you'll hold R1 until it makes a little click click noise, and you'll hit it.
Oh my God.
Over and over
Oh my God.
and over again until you successfully make a spear thing. Then, when an enemy attacks you, which it'll go into a slowed down time thing, you hold down X, and you either hold to left or right and wait for the noise to successfully dodge out of the way and not be murdered, or if you have a weapon, you hold forward and wait for the noise to make a counterattack. You can't play this fucking game without that sound cue, man. And so I can't listen to anything while playing it.
That sounds
That's
terrible.
annoying. But did you have gay sex?
I did accidentally have gay sex. So the last part of the game,
That's what I thought you were going.
I was gonna build to it right at the end here.
Okay.
But there was I had just gone to a new generation, and I was pairing up my monkeys, and apparently I had more boys than girls, and I wasn't paying attention. So so to have couples essentially. So I selected I hopped into the body of one female to play as her, and I found a male, and I basically was picking bugs off him to make him like me. And then I went over to the little bed. I'm like, "Come here, baby," and then we mated. And it's like, "There's new pregnancy," and then I jumped time forward to give birth to the baby, and then we mated again, and I had another baby. Every woman can have 2 babies. That's it.
Okay.
To balance the game, essentially.
Okay.
And then I jumped into the body of another female, and I wait for little sound cues and know when to pick off little bugs and eat them to help mate. Best friends, now we're a couple. Then I go, mate it again, pass forward time to make a baby, mate it again, pass forward time to make a baby. I'm like, cool. All right, there's only 2 monkeys left. hop into the body of I'm like, oh, it's a male. Okay, the other one must have been a female. Walk over, mate with the like, get with the guy. I was like, oh, no, oh, we're a couple now. And I go over to the thing and I'm like, let's mate. And we mate. It does the same thing, but it never said new pregnancy. I'm like, did it not work? So I did it again. And again. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And I actually took a close look at the monkey. And it's like male. I'm like, oh. Whoops.
Oh, well.
So, gay sex has been a thing from the beginning of time for humanity. Now you know. Knowing's half the battle. And I think that's a good place to end things today.
Yeah.
A lot of gay stuff.
Yeah.
It's like 3 different things.
Well, at least your monkey gay sex is consensual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the swan gay sex, I'm not sure.
Well.
Oh, was the non-consensual stuff not gay?
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait.
yes it was.
Wait,
yes
wait,
it wasn't.
wait.
Was the woman involved that was not a man for the gay stuff?
No.
What? Is that
Okay.
English?
Okay. The thing between the main characters. So the actual gay stuff, consensual.
Okay.
The other
That's solid, man.
So men can respect each other, but when
Yes.
women are involved, there's no need.
No.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening.
The gay episode.
Yeah, we are very happy today.
Yeah. Quite joyous.
Jolly and gay. And gay happy. Wait. I don't
See,
know any of these words.
Somehow,
I just know gay is in a two Christmas songs. But I forget the ones that are there and I forget the words that surround them.
Chase made it weirder. Like it was totally fine, and then he just like
Well,
goes
it's
down
Christmas
the gay rabbit
time.
hole. Or the gay monkey hole. All right. Thank you so much,
no.
everybody, for listening.
You went down that gay monkey hole. All right. My
Damn
name's
right.
Chase.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Cheyenne. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.